Whose league? It's looking like Rams league. Heard that a lot last night. Whose house? Rams house. Whose house? Rams house. Felt loud. Felt like the Rams faithful have finally, I don't want to say finally, but the Rams faithful have taken over that entire building. Now, whenever they go out to Los Angeles, you have no idea what's going to happen. How's this going to go? Is the franchise going to be able to be exciting enough and electrifying enough to steal the attention of the people that live in L.A.? And with the Rams, are they going to be good enough? Then they win the Super Bowl in SoFi, in their own stadium, in their own city. And then they go all in, basically, for that team. They send a bunch of draft picks out there, you know. GM actually quoted saying, fuck them picks. You know, that's kind of everywhere. We need to win right now in a brand new city. And somehow, from that era to what they're doing right now, they've been able to continue to turn over the dominance. They got a young defense that's everywhere. And they got a quarterback who was drafted in the same class as me and D-Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, he was picked number 1. I was picked 222. He was picked number 1. Darius J. Butler was picked
41.
Oh,
D-Bucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's old CBA for Matthew Stafford and for Darius J. Butler. But what this guy's doing this year is outrageous. He's the MVP odds-on favorite, and every time he's on primetime and he's doing the shit that he's doing, especially with Davante, which D-Butt's going to get into here in a matter of moments. But every time he gets out on TV and showcases what he's able to do at this current stage of his career with dudes like Puka Nacua, who Devante Adams said, he's like, this is the greatest vibe of all time. Puka Nacua, always positive, always energetic, also impossible to tackle and incredibly tough. Kind of sets a tone for everybody in the building. And oh yeah, you got an OG, Devante Adams in that building. And oh yeah, Matthew Stafford's playing better football than he's ever played. Devante Adams just passed Jimmy Graham for the most one-yard touchdowns in history of NFL. Congratulations, Devante.
Let's go.
Is that real?
Congrats, 15 of them. You know, Jerome Bettis is on that list. You know, Jerome Bettis had that run with the Pittsburgh Steelers where basically they would walk it all the way down the field to get to the one. And instead of the tush push, it was the bus hush, you know, and he just kind of ran it in for a touchdown. I think it was Fast Willie Parker got all the yards and had like no touchdowns. Why don't you have any touchdowns? Well, anytime we get inside 5.
That's Bussy's territory.
Yeah, he had like 3 touchdowns, 2 yards in a couple different games. You're talking about 1-yard touchdowns. Gronk had this situation, obviously, whenever they were down on the goal line with Tom Brady, they would just flank Gronk out there one-on-one. And if you sent one person out there, okay, well, that's a two-way go for Gronk right now. If you send 2 people out there, what happens to the box? Well, obviously, we're able to hammer it. It's an unstoppable offensive weapon if you have it. Davante's get-off, they say he's better than anybody. So not only do you have the best get-off, you also have a quarterback that never misses. This dude never misses. And then on the defensive side, they're only giving up 16.3 points a game or something like that. That's the fewest in the NFL. This is the first time ever the odds-on favorite of the MVP has had a defense this dominant. Ever. So whenever you talk about whose league, it's starting to feel like we might be talking about the Rams league. Is that how you're seeing it, D-Buck?
Absolutely. You talk about it offensively, it always starts with the quarterback. A lot of questions about Matt and his health coming into this season. So for him to be playing like this now is unbelievable. And then everyone around him. Obviously, we know his head coach, the play caller, Sean McVey. He's great. They got a good running game. The O-line has been keeping them clean. Whenever you have a quarterback, you know, that's up in age, we mentioned being drafted in 2009, you want to keep him clean. You want to keep him upright. And they've been doing a great job of that. And it's Davante Adams. Once you get into that area, like his release game, even out here, like his release game off the ball, I mean, Chad Ochocinco, Stevie Johnson, and Davante Adams. But Davante Adams will be at the top of that list. Like, he's so smooth out in the field. When you get into that area, low red area, slants, fades, all of it. And then Puka, he's everywhere. He does everything. It's unbelievable.
Do you think because Sean McVay was a wide receiver, he has seen himself and he said, if I had Davante's release, I would just, on the goal line, we just flank him out there. You got Puka on the other side. You got Parkinson. You got all these other weapons that obviously the Rams have in abundance. But if they one-on-one out here, Sean McVay's thinking in his head, if I had Davante's release, that's a two-way. Do you think that is an advantage for wide receiver relationships when the head coach play caller is a wide receiver?
I think that always helps. And it's part of, I mean, even when, like, he's always going to get the most out of his weapons. Even when Odell Beckham came over that year that you mentioned, they went and won the Super Bowl, he would just isolate Beckham on that side of the field. And that was while, you know, Cooper Kupp was winning the Triple Crown, but he would get the best out of both guys and putting them in their situation to be productive. And on the opposite, you know, side of Davante is Puka. And Puka's moving everywhere. He dominates in the interior of the field. He'll insert through a B or C gap and run a route down the field. He's tough. He came on the show and said, hey, look, I'll never be the guy that's going to run out of bounds or turn down contact. You talk about his vibes on and off the field, but you put the ball in number 12's hand, he's going to make something special happen damn near every time. And then defensively, you mentioned, rarely do we see an offense like this paired up with the championship-level defense, but Chris Shula has the boys rolling. The front four is the best in the league, in my opinion, and then guys on the back end really making a name for themselves this year. Kinchins, who had 2 picks last week. Kobe Durant had a pick last week. Now he has a pick 6 this week. And Emanuel Forbes Jr., I think he was targeted 7 times and didn't give up a catch, which he was a washout in the Commanders.
What happened on the Commanders? He's super skinny, right?
Yeah,
he's still a slim guy, and I think he'll always be a slim guy. But the reason you rarely see a guy that small get drafted in the first round. The reason he did was because of his skill set and how dominant he was at Mississippi State. And now you just see confidence. Confidence is everything at any position. When you're a cornerback, having that in life, when you have that confidence, you're in the system, you have a coach that believes in you, you have players around you that are great. This is what you see when you go to a new place. And we always say, hey, maybe this guy just needs a fresh start. That's a great example of this right here.
To your point, D-Butt, is from Next Gen Stats. Emanuel Forbes faced 7 targets and did not allow a single reception against the Buccaneers. And remember, this Buccaneers offense, really good. What's going on? It seemed early he was reaching. Baker Mayfield was reaching for his arm, but they let him play. So it felt like it was happening early. If he had broken anything up there, like collarbone, I don't know if they let him play. I don't want to diagnose anything, but it feels like something with the AC joint. I'm not 100% sure, just the way he was reaching for it. Incredibly painful. I mean, like one of the most painful things.
How many times he sacked before this? Like he was under duress. Like we saw in prime time when Josh Allen was running for his life against that Houston Texans defense. It kind of seemed very similar against this Rams front. So whatever he came into the season dealing with, it definitely didn't help facing a what would they call him?
Jace, what an incredible! Dominant. I mean, that was good. That was really good. I appreciate that. But like what we're trying to say is he was reaching immediately to here. Mm-hmm. Feels like that's probably a very real thing he was playing through last night. So obviously is Baker playing his best football? Is the offense playing their best football? Is anybody going to be able to play their best football against this Rams defense? I think that is the big question. And Shula was getting a lot of FaceTime last night. Chris Shula, as he should, because how dominant they were. This Buccaneers offense is good. This is a very good Buccaneers offense that they did that to.
We're like 4 weeks away we're 4 weeks removed from basically saying Tampa Bay was going to the Super Bowl. I mean, they had everything, and the Rams made them look basically incompetent on offense. And you're talking about Godwin was back; they weren't as hurt. One thing, and I'm hoping this doesn't happen, just because I would like my team to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald needs to come back and just play 10 snaps a game with this D line, and I don't care if he is even just on the sideline in pads, just hyping the guys up, kind of telling them, "Hey, that's a great dance move. Maybe you can do this to make it a little better." But he was on game day last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever, and he looks just as jacked as he did when he was playing. Now he probably needs a little time to get into game shape, maybe even put on a couple pounds. I don't think so either. He might be able to play middle linebacker.
That's why I just like Jage.
Yes.
Like J.J. Watt, we kind of experienced his first year of retirement with him. If you do recall, weekly we were joining him. Yeah. And that dude just didn't understand. Like, hey, you're not still in the NFL. He was still getting under the squat rack every single morning, running sprints. You remember he was running sprints and doing cardio and everything. And I don't know if Aaron Donald's doing all of that stuff. I'd assume yes, though. Yeah. I would assume that he would be doing those things. And then we saw him at Pitt. I mean, the guy threw me with a pinky.
Yeah.
The guy threw me with a pinky.
It's insane.
Still got those. He trained with knives. And whenever you talk about that front, you drop Aaron Donald in it. And once again, we have no inside information on whether or not Aaron Donald wants to go back. Aaron Donald's enjoying the hell out of his life, I think. And he's earned it. And he goes 10 years, 8 All-Pros, 10 Pro Bowls, won a Super Bowl, 3 defensive MVPs. I feel like I had a pretty good career. You certainly did, Aaron. Yeah. You certainly did. You worked your ass off for all those things. But he was in the building last night. Yep. And I'm assuming he gets excited watching the way that defense plays.
Yeah, I think he can get out there and play right now if he wanted to. I'm not sure if you guys heard them talking about, they've said it a few times with Jared Verse when he went and worked out with them. And he was like, hey, you know what, Aaron? Don't call me. I'll call you. He said it was the hardest shit he ever experienced. And that's him post-NFL career. So I'm sure 9-9 can still get in there and dominate.
Congrats to Rams fans.
Yeah.
Legit.
It's a good life right now.
Right now, it's very good. And how long is Matthew Stafford going to play, especially if he's hopping into that tube of live foreverness?
Yeah, the immortal chamber.
Yeah, what was that? What was that thing
immortal
called?
Cryo chamber of life.
It's amortal instead of immoral, so I don't know what the difference is.
No, well,
because he's an alpha.
It's amoral, maybe. Maybe it's a hard A on that.
Yeah.
Whatever the case, he looks good.
They also have the number 11 pick still. So
Who was calling the game? There it is. Amoral advertised itself as a wellness device that aims to optimize human performance and promote holistic health through a combination of non-invasive technologies. It worked.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, it did.
We saw him walk into this thing, then we saw him walk out of that thing, and now we're getting the season we're getting right now.
Is that him?
That's a good question.
don't do this.
We talked to him about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we
We
did.
talked to someone about
He
it.
said, my clone's doing pretty good this year. And it's like, whoa, Mr. White Teeth right there.
Yeah.
A clone would say that.
Admit that?
He looks good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Looks young, even with the beard. And he's the arms.
He's not getting hit either. He could. I mean, he could play another.
Oh, it's like the
5,
body.
7 years.
It's like the body that's playing out there has actually never been hit before this year.
Doesn't it? I mean,
He is a little too
and then
spry.
the touchdown to Parkinson, obviously, every week.
I also never saw those calves until this year
Ever.
either. So
Well, he was hiding them maybe because he's a humble man. you
Did
know?
he get new legs?
Well, it does appear maybe from knees down because those calves. But once again, we don't really know because we never really heard from him. Other than mic'd up situations with NFL films when he was in Detroit just getting murdered and then throwing awesome passes.
Detroit was so stinky.
So
Poor
stinky.
man.
So stinky.
Jeez.
But they had Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford, so you were kind of forced to pay attention to them. You know, like we're all forced to pay attention to that
Oh,
team
yeah.
because they were doing records. And I mean, Davante's on he's on a record-breaking pace right now. Already did last night. Jumped top 10, top 9, top 8, whatever the number is in touchdowns. Congratulations.
Already only has one less touchdown as a Ram. One behind Puka. Puka has 13. He has 12.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a year.
That's nuts.
And I'll tell you what, whenever you find the cheat code on goal line offense and you don't need everybody on your team to get accordioned, like the tush push does, that's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
The offensive line loves that Devante Adams has a one-on-one on the outside.
they do.
You know who else loves that? Running back too. Well, running back may want the touchdown.
Yeah.
Everybody else loves it
Yeah.
that it's happening out there. And all Matthew Stafford has to do is what? Just the thing that he's the best in the world at? Just put it into a bucket?
Okay.
No problem. And Davante's like, wait till you guys see the shit I worked on in the summer. It's actually a triple fucking. That's all. He's just crossing dudes up.
Yeah.
Is that the hard? So what's the hardest? You don't know where he's going because he doesn't use his hands either.
Yeah, they're just down.
His hands are like down. So
Yeah.
it's like very interesting. What is the hardest part about his get? Everybody talks about his get off, his get off, his get off. It just, to me, it looks like he just shakes the shit out of somebody.
Honestly, on that one, that was inexcusable by McCullum because you have help inside there at Winfield, and he's so close.
And he
I'm
had
sure
outside
they,
leverage
I'm sure they
already.
go at this point like, hey, we're talking about it. 17, we're down here. You got to guard half a man. It's like Des Bryant used to be automatic down there at Romo when they got there. He was going to throw the back shoulder fade regardless of what was happening. But if you're a corner, you got to be able to guard half a man at least. So you take away half. But if you're one-on-one just on an island and he has a two-way go on you, you want to initially take away leverage. But a veteran like him, even if he sees out inside leverage, he'll probably set you up and still try to take it away. So when you have that two-way go and you've done it as much as he has done it, and then you have a quarterback that can actually be on the same page and hit you, it's damn near unstoppable.
Yeah, because Stafford's not missing.
Exactly.
Like we'll see sometimes those opportunities where a ball will be a little too far, land out of bounds, be a little short, will get batted off to somebody's back or something like that. I think there was a situation last night with Dak and CD. Obviously, we will talk about that here in a matter of moments about where CD thought the ball was going versus where it actually went. Now, granted, it went right through his arms, but he thought it was going back corner. It's like Stafford seemingly always puts it right to the place that everybody wants it.
Exactly.
That's why when you're talking about ball spinners, bro, got it. Absolutely got it. Could do it forever.